Prokaryotic cells, or cells without a nucleus, have a simple anatomy and are generally smaller than their eukaryotic counterparts. First, let's examine the cell membrane. The cell membrane consists of a phospholipid bilayer integrated with things like channel proteins, sterols, and other transport proteins. The purpose of the cell membrane is to allow certain things in and out of the cell, like nutrients and waste respectively. There are two types of transport, passive and active transport. Passive transport would not require energy and can be used for things like water and carbon dioxide. Active transport requires energy in the form of ATP and can be used to transport things like ions and larger molecules. All in all, the cell membrane helps to regulate the cell's inner and outer contents. Next, let's take a look at the cell wall. A prokaryote cell wall is made up of NAMNAG, which is a monomer of peptidoglycan. Prokaryotes are bacteria. Let's examine the two types of cell wall occurrences. In gram-positive bacteria, the peptidoglycan cell wall is thicker and on the outside of the cell membrane. In gram-negative bacteria, the cell wall is still on the outside of the membrane, but there is an outer membrane that covers it. When a special dyeing procedure called a gram stain is performed, gram-positive bacteria appear purple and gram-negative bacteria appear pink. It is important to note that on top of a cell membrane and a cell wall, some bacteria may additionally have a capsule as extra shielding. Next, let's dive into the cell's nucleoid region. This is not an organelle, it's just a region of the cytoplasm, which houses the prokaryotic DNA, which is long and circular, not linear like its eukaryotic counterpart. The structure of DNA is double helical, with 4 base pairs. As an evolutionary advantage because of their short lifespan, within their DNA, a prokaryote has operons, which are genetic regulatory systems which allow for protein synthesis, or the making of proteins, to be controlled and coordinated in response to the cell's needs or excesses. And speaking of protein synthesis, it all happens in the ribosomes. After DNA is transcribed to make mRNA, the ribosome's large and small subunits bind to the mRNA to translate it into protein. Both the nucleoid region and the ribosomes are located in the cytosol, which is a jelly-like fluid that fills the cell. In the cytosol occurs DNA replication and protein synthesis. Some prokaryotes have an outer organelle known as a flagella. Some flagella allow the bacteria to swim in a wiggling motion, while others allow the bacteria to propel forward in a spiraling motion. Some bacteria may have more than one flagella for extra power. All in all, this organelle is used for movement. Aside from or in addition to flagella, some prokaryotic cells may have small hair-like structures lining the cell known as cilia. These cilia wiggle back and forth and are used for movement of the cell as well as movement of substances around the cell.